Imagine living in a country where the year has 13 months, where the date is 7 to 8 years behind the rest of the world, and where the clock itself is counted differently. It may sound impossible, but this is everyday life in Ethiopia. While most of the world follows the Gregorian calendar, Ethiopia follows its own ancient system known as the Ethiopian Calendar. So why does Ethiopia measure time differently from the rest of the world? To understand this, we must travel back nearly 2,000 years. The Ethiopian calendar is deeply connected to the traditions of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which is actually one of the oldest Christian churches in the world. Long before modern calendars were standardized, different Christian communities calculated time differently. Ethiopia preserved an older system based on ancient calculations of the birth of Jesus. While Western countries eventually adopted the Gregorian calendar, Ethiopia continued using its traditional system. Because of this difference in calculation, the Ethiopian calendar today is about 7 to 8 years behind the Gregorian calendar used in most countries. So while the rest of the world may say it is 2026, in Ethiopia it may still be 2018 or 2019, depending on the time of year. One of the most fascinating parts of the Ethiopian calendar is that the year contains 13 months, but the system is actually very simple. The first 12 months each have exactly 30 days. Then comes a small final month known as Pagume, which contains 5 days. During a leap year, this final month has 6 days instead of 5. This structure creates the famous phrase often used to describe Ethiopia, 13 months of sunshine. This unique system also makes the calendar more regular and predictable compared to many other calendar systems. Another major difference is the date of the New Year. In Ethiopia, the New Year is celebrated in September during a holiday called Enkutatаш. This celebration marks the end of the rainy season and the beginning of spring-like sunshine across the Ethiopian highlands. During Enkutatаш, families gather, children sing traditional songs, and people exchange flowers and gifts. The entire country celebrates the start of a new year, just at a different time than the rest of the world. But Ethiopia doesn't just count days and months differently, it also counts hours differently. In most countries, the day begins at midnight, but in Ethiopia, the clock begins counting at sunrise. So when the sun rises at about 6 a.m. by international time, Ethiopians call that 1 o'clock in the morning. This means that what the world calls 7 a.m. is 1 o'clock Ethiopian time. For visitors, this can be confusing at first, but for Ethiopians, it reflects a system based on the natural rhythm of the sun. The survival of the Ethiopian calendar shows something powerful about Ethiopian history. Unlike many countries that completely replaced their traditional systems, Ethiopia preserved its own cultural identity for centuries. Through ancient kingdoms, global trade, and modern globalization, Ethiopia maintained its unique way of measuring time. Even today, the Ethiopian calendar is still used for daily life, official events, and religious celebrations. So, while most of the world shares the same calendar, Ethiopia reminds us that time itself can be understood in different ways. A year with 13 months, a clock that begins with the sunrise, and a calendar that has survived for centuries. It is one more example of the rich traditions that continue to shape Ethiopian culture today. And perhaps it also reminds us that history is not only written in books, sometimes it is written in the way a nation counts its days.